Hi guys, how are you? Let me just check and make sure that yeah, good. All right, I'm going to be taking a look at the future of Putin-Trump relationship here and see what's in store. And I'm going to try a different oracle. This is the Zammer Twins Oracle by Deviant Moon, Edition 3. These are a little wacky, a little different. Anyway, let's start off with that. This is the artwork. This deck is kind of more rectangular. It's longer this way, but they're smaller cards. All right, so we're looking at what is the future of the Trump-Putin relationship? What is the future of the Trump-Putin relationship? I'm going to give these a good shuffle. What is the future of the Trump-Putin relationship? And I'll look at how Putin is feeling about what Trump is doing and vice versa. But let's just take a look with a couple of cards and see what the future is. So what is the future of the Trump-Putin relationship here now that Trump has cheated his way into office? How is that going to go down? Right now, there's some tension there because Russia is refusing to, concede in any way, basically. And they've let Trump know that. Yeah, let's see. The future of the Putin-Trump relationship here. Where is it headed? How is it now and where is it headed? All right. We're getting the card of the cauldron. Paired with Blemaye, Blemaye, Blemaye. That's about right. Notice, very strange. Okay. So let's take a look at this. Definitely going to need the Oracle booklet that goes with it. That's 25 and what is it, 16? Yeah. All right. Well, the cauldron, as flames roar around them, a skeletal nun boils inside a copper pot with two serpent maidens and a mysterious mixture. A vigilant red eye keeps watch over the stew, making sure this strange broth is cooked to perfection. Weird. Anyway, the upright meaning is abundant power over others. And there is a renewal, transformation, a combination of diverse elements that into a unique new form. Well, I'm rather going with the abundant power over others. Okay. And I'm thinking Putin feels this way. Trump feels this way too, but Putin really feels like he's the real leader, I'm sure. 16. Let's take a look and see what this thing is. Weird, weird, weird looking Blamey. Here it is. The barbaric Blamey threatens all who foolishly approach his wild domain. That sounds like both of them. Although lacking a head, the hideous face on his chest screams with rage, sending trespassers running away in fear. The upright meaning is intimidation, brute strength, uncivilized behavior, primitive instincts, aggression, savage tempered, a dangerous, rude, or terrifying person. Well, I think there's going to be some threats. I think this is going to ratchet up because I think it's kind of a peeing contest for, between them. And I think it's going to get and become a very strange indeed concoction of threat and uncivilized behavior. The doctor. And melancholy. I do declare, I think someone's going to be struggling with depression here. I think it could be Putin. And maybe needing medication here. Somebody's like well off the they're drunk on their power. And both men are, but I think the future of it could be that it's just going to devolve, unfortunately, uh, into a slinging contest of uncivilized language. Let's take a look at Doctor and Melancholy. That is number 11 and 36. All right. And how are you this fine Friday evening? Well, I'm sending you love. I'm sending you light and hope in this dark night of the soul. Just remember what Winston Churchill said. When you're going through hell, keep going. So a doctor carefully examines, oh gosh, this guy's missing the top of his head, as you can see, one of his patients in the clinic. Although the patient's condition seems rather extreme, ugh, the doctor is quite knowledgeable and is sure he can restore radiant health to the ill man, one way or the other. Upright meaning to a call to maintain sound health practices, and that there's attention to an imbalance in the body, a need to seek medical care, a time to heal both physically and mentally, seeking advice from a trusted authority, intense scrutiny, competence. Well, this could end up triggering, I think, some kind of a mental depression. And there's a doctor I think, that is being seen for this depression. Okay. And there's, I think, an urgent situation. And there's a depression. So let's take a look at that. 30, what did I say it was? 36. Interesting deck. I'm definitely going to use it a bit more. Okay, let me hold her back up. It's a beautiful card. Kind of weird, as Deviant Moon is always a little odd. Oh, heavens. All right. Feeling overwhelmed by dark emotions, a beautiful young woman um, pierces herself in the chest as she steps out over a high precipice, like the fool. No longer able to see life's beauty, she tosses a note to the wind before plummeting down to the sea below. Sad or gloomy outlook on life, feeling moody, having a heavy heart, unshakable dark or morbid thoughts. That's both of them as well. A tragic state of mind, self-torment, grief, and depression. This is someone that's seeing a specialist, and I think for serious depression. And I think also not just mental, it was saying health, but physical health issues as well. And I think that is Putin. I don't think Trump's depressed, but I think this is going to be Putin because he's had that war going on. And I think the friendship is going to have some problems, to put it mildly. I think it's going to devolve, and I think Putin will be suffering and is going to be suffering if he isn't, and I think already is, really heavy depression, a very dark mindset, and that they're showing that us that he's seeing someone for it. The drunkard. Shande. Shande? And Mercurus. All right. You know, that doesn't look good for a friendship. 29 and 93. No, 29 and 23. Okay, the drunkard, shamed and ridiculed by the villagers. A drunken old man parades through the town square wearing an old wine barrel. Although he may feel disgraced now, he will more than likely pick up a fresh full bottle as soon as he's set free. And this is all about humiliation and embarrassment, a scandal, guilt, bad reputation, being made a mockery, an outcast, addiction, lack of self-control, and self-destruction. These two could start tearing at each other in a way that the public, I think, will be going, oh, um, here we have Mercurus. So there's going to be the humiliation game being played, them trying to humiliate one another. And I think both of them trying to humiliate each other because I think it's going to there's going to be a collision of egos that's going to, I think, possibly get worse. After brutally decapitating the king and queen with his axe, Mercurius slithers across the field without remorse. Trump better be careful. Having committed such atrocities in the past, that sounds like Putin, he is eager to add these two heads to his growing collection. What a weirdo. So the upright meaning of this is taking violent or extreme measures, a thief or a trickster, a psychopath, derived subconscious thoughts, maniacal tendencies, becoming a victim of crime. So there's humiliation and potentially becoming a victim of crime, being targeted for some kind of violence by somebody that's just got no F's left to give. I really do think Trump will need to be very careful because he is wont to many times humiliate people. And I think that it looks like he's going to humiliate Putin. And it looks like Putin might not like that too well and might look into sending him a message. We get separation, and again with the head and this body is like in fragments, like pieces. That's 34. And Laella. Interesting card. Let's just take a look at those two. Separation and Laella. 34, 28. Triumphant swordsman stands among the severed limbs of a dead giant slain in battle. Dead giant slain in battle. Holding the giant's gold head as a prize, he looks down at the carnage with great respect after defeating such a worthy opponent. So the upright meaning of this card, this separation, is division, breaking something down to smaller parts or beating the odds. Victory over a Sisyphean task, heroic efforts, and it could be a protector as well. But this is someone that takes someone else basically apart, humiliates them, and this could get ugly and quite possibly very dangerous for Trump, especially if he makes Putin feel humiliated. Laella is bound by love's web. The dark beauty Laella stands detained from happiness. Branches with small pink blossoms emerge from her body, forming the shape of a heart around her. Spiders build faint traps on the limbs, hoping to lure unsuspecting victims to their demise. And the upright meaning of this card is a femme fatale. Unrequited love, a jilted lover, someone who may be lovesick or stuck in a bad relationship, empty promises, loveless romance. Well, if there's any kind of compromat, that could figure in here, especially with the other prior cards of like humiliation. And I think Trump may not realize how fragile Putin is. Wow. I think they're going to continue to kind of face off here with domination and the temple. Like who's again throwing their weight around? 47 and 26. I think it will ratchet up. I really do. Unfortunately. Oh, that's 20, actually. 20. The temple is an ornate temple built of gold. That sounds like a Trump tower type of thing. Stands as shining beacon to all, well, except for this part, who gather in prayerful worship. It symbolizes humans' mortal condition, as well as divine promises from heaven adorn the architecture. The upright meaning is strong spiritual foundations, a holy place, or a sacred retreat, a sanctuary, refuge. Paying respects, honor, may also represent your physical body or an inner state of peace. Could also be like a church, taking refuge in a church. And there's some issue of, and they did say, now I am asking about Putin and Trump, but I can't help but think of the commentary that they would go for people, and while they were in churches, that they could go in schools, and that they're seeking to, be able to do that, or that they can. But this is supposed to be between him and Putin. It could be the body. We were given the flash to the aspect of someone being ill, having poor health, and not just mentally, but also physically. Being more ill than you'd realize. Domination is 47. It could be that Putin will have to pull back, retreat with the temple to refuge. Let's see. Let's just take the tone of that number 47. Dominion, 2 lions, green versus red. Oops, hold this. Green versus red are engaged in a ferocious struggle to the death for dominion over the entire animal kingdom. Yeah, that sounds about right. A winged crown of gold hovers overhead and will be ceremoniously awarded to the victorious contestant. A fierce battle, a contest, a conflict, supremacy, influence, fighting for what's quote-unquote rightfully yours, oppression, control, power. Temple could also be a certain area that they want and are fighting over, or certain areas. And they'll be contesting this, fighting for it. I get Tree of Life and Rebus, the Rebus. 10 and 48. see what we get with this, and I'll look at something else. Well, the tree of life, a humble man and a woman kneel before the tree. See if I can kind of get this to focus in. They're covered up. Tree of life. Okay. As a passionate fire burns around them, they're holding their golden chalices upright. They readily accept the divine blood pouring from the spout of a giant beating heart. Oh, weird. Okay, an omniscient eye opens from the top branches and looks up and towards a glittering starry sky. There's a divine gift, a sacred promise, the source of life, fertility, prosperity, abundance, spiritual connection, belief of an afterlife. Okay, this would be a spiritual, I think, connection of some kind. Rebus, the king. Taking sanctuary somewhere. Fighting. Let's see, what was that? 48. All right, let's just see that real quick. Half king, half queen. The hermaphrodite now stands as a unified figure atop a wicked red demon. The male side wields an upright sword, indicating power, strength, and protection. The female side holds a chalice filled with serpents, representing an enduring life force over death. Together as one, they reign over the land with justice, compassion, and integrity. So this is duality or opposing forces united into one. Balance, a new and unique combination. Equality, reconciliation, the end result or ultimate goal. Well, I think something is going to be attained here. And it feels like the people get a break. I mean, I'm thinking Ukraine. Not Putin. All right, let's just take a look at Putin. How does Putin feel about Trump right now? How does Vladimir Putin feel about Donald Trump? How does Putin feel about Donald Trump? How does Putin feel about Donald Trump? I get Adelina, the little fairy. And I'm getting the harlot. Okay. Rather. All right. Let's take a look at that. I almost want to say compromat. Okay, well, Adelina is a beautiful princess that stands gracefully in a field of vibrant flowers. Although her wings are still too small to fly, she hopes that she will one day join the elegant doves circling the glowing moon above. So this is grandeur, poise, courtesy, dignity, good manners, virtue. and a positive friendship. But how can that be when it's connected to harlots? So it almost seems like it's something that's posing as pure and innocent, but it is being well, let's just look at 38. It makes me think about compromise of some kind. 38. So, secluded dark alleyway, a harlot lifts her dress as a lustful demon crawls underneath to see what he might find. A rush of excitement fills the harlot's face as the demon discovers more than he was hoping for. So, it's about sexual power and sacrificing one's integrity for material gain. Selling out. Secret sexual desires or fantasies, desperation, exploitation, temptation, entrapment, game. I think it's perhaps youthful. Lure and something that's compromising position for sure. Chaos. I think Putin could end up releasing some kind of compromise, and there will be chaos. And we get the card of utopia. Chaos and utopia. I think he feels like he's going to cause chaos in America, more chaos, by, I think, releasing compromat that's very, well, gonna, it would be devastating for Trump. And I do. I think this is him thinking the situation initially is innocent, and that this is just a fresh young thing. But I think there is a dark side to this, of course, but it's darker than even what one would initially think. There's a hidden agenda, and it's very much along the veins, I think, of compromat that could be released, because I think it might go too far. Where this is Putin looking at Trump. And to me, it looks like he'll be preparing to release that to America, to cause chaos with number 13 and 26, chaos and utopia. A multifarious creature, well, that would be Putin, plays a symphony of death and destruction. The cacophonious melody permeates the night, calling all within earshot to dance in the madness. Disorganization, confusion, insanity, pandemonium, turmoil, lawlessness, abnormal behavior. And I think maybe saying that the compromat shows that. And here is utopia. To me, this is like Putin thinking, okay, America, 26, releasing that chaos into Trump's little bubble of utopia. An impoverished man sits alone in a dirty alleyway thinking of how beautiful his city could be. He desires for a better world so strong that they manifest into a bubble of hope above him. But the upright meaning is grand ideals, an unrealistic quest for goals that are unreasonable, foolish optimism, unattainable goals, impossible daydreams. And I think that's both of them to a degree, but I think each one is going to disturb the peace of the other. And I think Putin could end up releasing some kind of compromise. And if he did that, we have acrobat. I can't help it. I want to see. And melancholy. Okay, what's acrobat? We already know what melancholy is. 2. Could that be fluctuation? I'm learning this deck as I go along with you here. Okay, so the acrobat, a limber young acrobat, performs a sideshow stage performs on a sideshow stage, demonstrating tremendous poise and dexterity by using a combination of natural talent and rigorous discipline. Either one of them. He is able to execute stunts which leaves onlookers in awe. So this is going to be about flexibility and the ability to maneuver through complex situations and confidence in one's skill set, a show off. Well, that would be Trump. But there's also depression. That's I think he knows he's going to, I feel like he's going to toy with Putin's mental health state as well. I think they're both punching each other's buttons here. I think it's going to be like one of those matches, back and forth with the. I can only say that if he does, Trump might ask for forgiveness. This is redemption, and this is the lure. The female that poses that is alluring, but lures you into a trap. So here's the seraph. And the king. That could be the rest. I think like government of some kind. The seraph. 35. I just want to take a look at that. And then I'm going to grab the other deck. Okay, so the seraph is a flaming angel with 6 wings that's hovering over town, keeping watch over the citizens below. Brighter and more glorious than any constellation in the sky, she serves as a divine sign of hope and inspiration, purity, a messenger, spiritual advice or guidance, holiness, a prophecy, transcendence, aspiration, protection. I think there's protection over America, and I half don't wonder if the really bright lights, like I've talked about before, that are up really high, I wonder if they're not a protecting force, given the wars that humans have going on, that I think certain drones and things are flying around or whatever that humans are launching. But I rather think that just when I read about that, I thought, I bet some of those lights up there are offering some kind of protection, but kind of at a distance, keeping an eye on things. Let's just take a look again at Rebus. So it's like prophecy. There's something here. 48. Something that is meant to happen. Opposing forces united into one, balance, a new and unique combination, equality, reconciliation. The end result. Well, to me, it could mean that they bring together maybe an end of, it could result in an end of, or bring in an end to the Russian invasion of Ukraine. I think that that is a real possibility here. But I absolutely think that their bond or little friendship is going to devolve according to these cards. And I think possibly, quite possibly, you can see the release of Compromat. And if that happens, I think he's just going to not just like act like it's no big deal, or say he's sorry, or ask for forgiveness, or put on I'm gonna turn over a new leaf kind of thing. I think that's really truly possible. Should have shut this off. And let's just see what else we get. I'm going to use the regular tarot now. All right. And I'm going to kind of put the same question. What is going to be the way of Donald Trump's and Putin's relationship? How is that going to go? Okay, guides, please use this deck now and help me to read accurately and clearly on how Trump and Putin's relationship is going to go. Are they going to resolve things, or are they going to be up against each other? Will it devolve, or will it maybe get better? I'm trying to just, be open here. But that reading before there doesn't look good. So what is the way forward for that relationship? Putin and Trump. Let's see what we get. We get the Fool and the Page of Cups. Well, new start. There's also a great deal of risk here. Taking a leap of faith, and maybe a childish one at that, or inexperience as well. I think this is something new between them. And I think Trump is willing to take more risks than he was before. I think he's feeling a lot more powerful than maybe last time. And to me, he's willing to push the envelope here, like a young kid. Like, what are you going to do about it? There's the Knight of Cups. He's making that offer. I'm sure this is the offer that for peace in Ukraine, or also the offer of tariffs, taxation, and sanctions. And this Knight of Cups is connected to the Six of Swords. So he's offering something to make things calm down and go in a better direction overseas there, trying to guide the situation, perhaps. He might make some progress. we get the Chariot. I wonder if he's going to travel over there. 10 of Pentacles. Wow, this is a lot of money. And I'm feeling like this is trade. I don't know if Trump is going to be sending, if this is like the aid that he's going to send, preferably to Ukraine. Let's just see. Oh, yeah, for the fighting. There's an acceleration in fighting in the war. So I think Trump's going to be willing, quite possibly here, to send Ukraine. And I really hope it's them. And I do think Putin's going to F around and find out that and I think Trump is likely to send them stuff, and this is going to accelerate that war. And it's, I think, going to get more intense. We have the Knight of Wands and the King of Swords. And to me, this could be Zelensky because he's also an air sign. And we have the Knight of Wands being better outfitted to go into battle. But this could also be Putin. He's a King of Swords as well. He's a Libra. And this could be him, because we had the last two cards were the acceleration of the war, and we have Putin here, I think, responding by an aggressive offense here. And we have Trump involved. All three air signs. Isn't that wild? So all three, I think, are going to be pushing forward with this pretty aggressively from their own agenda. And we have the Emperor and Judgment, and we have holding someone to account, new awareness that evolves. There's a change. And there's a calling for a leader to do something in particular here, like holding someone to account or leadership with the Emperor. Could be holding Putin to account. But there's greater understanding here. I think about deaths, holding, maybe humanitarian issues. There's the death card and justice. Yeah. Crime, war crimes. I'm getting like war crimes. Maybe this is a world court. I really do think that Trump is willing to put him under the bus. And he could well equip, by the looks of this, choose to equip Ukraine, and that war will escalate. And there's going to be a lot of brutal behavior going on, and I think it will attract the attention of the court. I think The Hague. With the Queen of Cups. And women endure. They're the strongest. Shown here, there is compassion for what people have had to live through, to endure, and control themselves. There's a feminine figure here. I wonder, a water sign perhaps, but also just an energy that is compassion. Maybe aid, like humanitarian aid for the areas that have ravaged by war. Another female energy, the Queen of Wands and the Page of Swords. There is surveillance, there's watchfulness, protection, I feel like. I feel like there's forces of help coming over to Ukraine. Wheel of Fortune, there is change and someone has to leave or will be leaving. I believe that could be Putin in this case, that he will have to leave Ukraine, and possibly more than that. Step down. There's Temperance and the Six of Wands. I think Trump will see this as his victory, bringing something to balance if he chooses to go this route. But it's a combination of things that will actually bring about the accomplishment of winning that battle with Putin. You know, it's not just Trump. This is, once again, wanting to be the center of attention, like he really was victimized. But there's also hope on the people, in the people, I think, that have been enduring a great deal of oppression and abuse. And, you know, their boundaries, literally. There's also a focus on children and school and supplies and things that children need. So I feel like a lot more care, rebuilding. So I think he could have a significant impact in the ending of Putin just by exasperating Putin. However, we do have that independently wealthy crowd that are ruthless. They have to win. They're willing to do whatever they have to win. So that could also be an aspect of who's helped give the edge here. Yeah, there's money, a partnership agreement. So Putin, Trump might be able to get people with money to assist if Putin doesn't do what Trump wants. Okay. So will the friendship, so to speak, it's not really a friendship, but again, is this going to end between Putin and Trump? Is Trump going to speak more harshly of Putin? Is that coming? So, like, that friendship would be altered. Will they turn on each other? Is Trump going to turn on Putin? There's a plan here, and it's gradually going along, waiting and seeing how things develop, waiting and seeing what I think Putin's responses are. And I think he's definitely keeping in mind I think like sanctions and uh, things like that to do with finance and goods, supplies, trade. And it's paired with, I think he's going to feel like he has the edge, that he can do that to Putin. But because Putin's in a place of decline with that Five of Pentacles, and I believe that this makes Trump feel like he's got a safe place to fight from. And Putin is also not, really protected by some big ally. We're getting the Queen of Cups and the Nine of Cups for a feminine energy here. There's some amusement. Now, I don't know if this is Ivana or Ivanka. I always twist that around. I think it could be Trump's daughter. They're going to be really watching with the Page of Swords and the Knight of Cups, the offers that Trump makes to him. And there's communication going on with these offers overseas, waiting to hear back. But not hearing anything back, not accepting the offer, or not even maybe responding one way or another, or just not responding. Just like, no, I'm blocking that offer. Here comes the acceleration. Oh, you said no. So this feels like I'm going to sling something at you, so to speak. Someone's going to, I think this would be Trump pushing his power. Quite possibly like giving the go-ahead for sending aid over to Ukraine, that kind of thing. Yeah, there's the sunflower. So I feel like this is Ukraine and Zelensky, and I think Trump here represented both of them with the King of Swords. And those two will be connecting and talking. And this is because I think Trump has to win. And that's going to give him a big buzz to take that action with the Ace of Wands and the Five of Swords. But I think he'll do it to humiliate with the Five of Swords and the Ace of Wands, Putin. And maybe that's what's going to trigger compromise. Then we get the Sun and the Six of Wands. There's an illumination on winning a battle, recognition of a win, recognition of someone that overcomes a challenge. It will be clear perhaps then that, well, Ukraine would be in a better position. And there would be hope. Okay. And maybe to do with wealthy folks, business people. But also business people that want limelight. That's okay. This would be Elon. This is the CEO. I think Elon's going to put his 2 cents into this. And now it feels like a burden. Financially, a burden. Mother Russia. Queen of Swords. And the Page of Cups. Is a childishness that's going to be pointed out here, or simple surprise maybe that is revealed with this. Women maybe in Russia, maybe and might make a movement forward if they see that Trump is not helping Putin but helping Ukraine. This might be a new low for, and humiliating. And there's a hardship there for sure. And putting them in a position where they're just kind of going to have to deal with this, how things are, and it's really difficult. There's restriction. I think this is the sanctions also. So he could give aid to Ukraine, it looks like to me, and just sanction Russia, and both of those things would be terribly punishing and humiliating to Vladimir. So, will Vladimir try and exit Trump because of this? Or will he not be in position to do so for some reason? Will Vladimir be looking to exit Trump if he sanctions Russia and gives them a hard time? Will Putin be looking to cause Trump to exit physically? Well, the Page of Wands, there could be the start of a plan there. I think he could find that idea appealing and get something planned. There's like a message there. I think he's going to try. I think there's going to be more like warnings. Yeah, he's really oppressive, and I think he would like nothing more than saying, "I'm the bad dude around here." And that devil is paired with the high priestess secrets. He's done things with like over in the UK to people, uh, with different types of poisons. So I don't like that. I think he could think about doing something very dark that's a secret plan. This could also be compromat and other things that are hidden. And it might be that he'll start to, like I said, go to release that. Yeah, there's activity. There's some action. I think he could say, go do this. Because I think they're going to be humiliating each other. And there's that big risk, being willing to take it and pay someone to do it. That could be someone acting quickly to secure or get it done. But there's some kind of restriction here. And the Tower. So does that mean that this restriction is no longer holding, but something could happen that's unexpected? That would be create an opening or get past protective boundaries. I think Putin could try. I do. Like he's waiting to hear back. I definitely, with the death card, think he could try to end him. So if they get going back and forth, it could devolve to that point. I guess we'll just keep a close eye on that and see how things go. Um, that's very curious. Very curious. All right. Well, if you find readings like this interesting, please do me a solid and give me a thumbs up. And we'll just keep a watch of things and keep praying and hold space for the light. Hold the light. Okay. All right. Take care.